you are here with us on Sunday morning. And us is the Venus Vault Show. We are here every Sunday morning from 11 to 12 every week, and on Wednesdays at 10 p.m. to 11. I have some really lovely guests in studio today, so I'm happy because it makes me happy, to hear this beautiful song in the background. This is a great band called the Dandy Warhols. Have you heard them, Craig? Do you like the Dandy Warhols?
You know, ironically, as a golfer, I was sponsored by a record company, and they were on the back of my shirts.
You are kidding me.
And
That's a strange, what would we call that? A coincidence.
Coincidence.
See, Craig, get out of my life.
I hung out with them in Montreal and, had drinks, and it was fun, actually.
I know a lot of people that would be envious of that because I have some friends that are just madly in love with this band, including me. Actually, this song was actually just sent to me from someone from my past. He had to send me the song. So I have a question to the listeners. I want to know today if you guys have any, and just want you to think about it. Don't call in, actually, because we can't take phone calls today. But what I want to know is we have kind of some controversy stirring in the headlines about technology and how it affects our lives. So we've had some things happening here in the Valley with some what they call sexting.
Yes.
So I kind of wanted to talk about that a little bit because I'm a mom of a teenager, and it is affecting teenagers, but also to take a bigger look at, just to pose the question, do you think that technology is hurting our lives in general? I mean, seriously, don't answer it right this second, but just think about what you... I see you moving up to that mic. But,
I was about to dig in.
I want to turn the music down just a bit because I love this song so much I can't focus on what I'm saying, even though I love the song. Thank you, Dandy Warhols. We appreciate you. Okay, so the question is then, how do you feel? How do you feel that technology is affecting your life? We've been involved in this internet thing for probably the past decade, 10 years, 8 to 10 years.
No, it's entrenched.
Now, if you hear the voice, that lovely, handsome voice, let me just tell you, ladies, I'm going to say this to you right now. One of the reasons that I'm happy to be here on Sunday is who I'm looking at on my left. His name is Craig Matthew, and he is a good friend of mine. But I think I want to marry him. I think I'm going to have to propose marriage after the show, just because he's so cute.
Is that happening on air today?
No, because we'll do it off air. Because I don't, in case I get rejected, I can't have it on air. The other thing I've got is another beauty in studio, because we do these tabletop discussions. It's part of our show. In the beginning, we try to have guests in studio every week, whether they be someone to help us with nutrition or health. But I love to have music guests in just because I love music, and we've got a great music guest coming in later today. He's going to be, I would say, premiering his new album. It's Stay. The album is Stay, and the artist's name is Peter Conway, and he's joining us from London, England today. Yeah. And that's going to be in about 15 minutes or so. So I want to get our regular tabletop segments out of the way so we can just kind of focus on him and have fun with music.
That was my first introduction. You just introduced him to me the last couple of days.
And what'd you think? Were you shocked?
He's solid. He's really good.
Solid.
He's
solid as a rock. You remember that song, or am I just really old?
No, it's on my playlist.
Yeah, right, sure. So I'm looking at another beauty, and that is the other light of my life. And I'm so grateful to have these two friends in studio. And her name is Janair Johnson. Janair Johnson is a single mom, an entrepreneur, and a business owner. She's also a sponsor of the Venus Vault, and she owns Glitter and Bliss Salon in Scottsdale. But you know what? She comes in and she talks to us about lady talk. We keep it real in the studio, and I like looking and we like looking at you, Janair. I try to keep beauties in here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, well, I wish I had a mirror to look at myself, but I can only speak of you guys.
Selfies. But we'll be talking about that today.
We are totally going to be talking about it. Because we're going to talk about where you think, how did they start, for God's sake, for the love of God? You know what I mean?
And they've changed.
Yes, they have.
From facial selfies to, others.
Well, I've got to, I know. And I've got to tell you what's happening with me when we're talking about selfies as well. But let's get some topics out of the way first. The first thing is, I had a health scare this past week, and I'm just going to be honest with the listeners. It's very scary. I went on vacation, and I felt a little lumpy in my little breasty. And I've never had that happen before. I have to be honest, and I have, I always examine and my whole life, and we do have breast cancer in our family. My sister-in-law was just recovered from breast cancer. She survived a fight with that battle. And so it scared the crap out of me. I have to be honest. And I do not believe, and this is my own personal choice, but I'm a very holistic and homeopathic living person. It's very hard for me to go to the doctor. I don't get sick often. I eat healthy, but I have not believed in mammograms. Now, this is my own personal opinion, so I want to say that this is just an opinion, not based on, I don't want anyone to follow suit, but I'm sharing something with you. There are alternatives to mammograms, and I wanted to just discuss with you one alternative, and it's called a thermogram. And it's done through a heat process and a light process, and it actually can show when blood is going to certain parts of your breasts. And it's proven to be almost more effective than mammograms. They are available here in the Valley, and I think you can get them covered under insurance as well. So that's the road I'm going as I go through this process to find out how I'm doing. But I feel very good.
You'd think it would be everywhere, that technology. I mean, you'd think it...
Well, I think it is, but here's what I was going to tell you, and we don't want to spend too much time, but listeners, here's our tip of the day. Thermograms. Look them up on Google, and there's lots of providers here in Phoenix and in the whole Valley that can provide that for you. So check into that. If you're afraid of a mammogram, mammograms do put out a lot of radiation, and also the insurance companies are kind of forcing women. When I say insurance, this means that they'll cover an annual mammogram actually to where you don't even have to pay for it, okay? That's how the American medical system works.
Yeah.
Now, so what they're doing basically is they're making us go and get these. In other words, it's kind of almost a requirement. They get pushed on us. And so we start to worry. You want early detection. It is helping to fight this cancer. The breast cancer is one of the largest leading killers in women in the last 10 years. It's also progressively growing. My question in my mind is it growing because we're all now having to do these early mammograms, and some of us start very early in our 20s, and they're saying that makes your chances go up, that it could hurt you, actually. I don't want to say don't get them ever, but what I want to say is look into, if you have any fear or concern, read up and do your research about these type of things, and check into thermograms. It's just one other alternative, and I do know that out here in the Valley there's a lot of people that do it. So
and apparently it might be a little more effective if you have really dense tissue, right?
I think so, because sometimes mammograms can give a false read,
Yeah.
and they have like a 16 to 20% false read where they don't catch it. This should catch things,
Yeah.
And I really, anyway, that's my tip of the day, thermograms. The other, and speaking of that, our recipe of the week is there's certain foods for if you have a breast cancer issues, or if you're fearful, there's a certain diet, eat less red meat, less alcohol. Sadly, I need to follow that.
Oh boy.
Dang it. Well,
Does that include wine?
girl, it does, but red wine is actually good for you. So I
Yeah.
don't understand,
That's what I thought,
I
too.
don't understand. So some of the things that are good for you, sweet potatoes, any red or orange vegetables, very good for you. So fill up on that. Go up and Google and see some of the things that the health experts suggest for healthy breast care. And recipe of the week, I make this at home actually because I'm trying to do alternatives to French fries, which I adore. But I want to do like sweet potatoes because they're healthy. Cut them up, bake them in the oven, and put some rosemary and olive oil.
They're really tasty too.
Yum.
It's like a dessert.
Yeah, yummy. Especially when you bake them and they get all crunchy and because the sweetness comes out. Anyway, there's your recipe of the week. Okay, now you guys, our topic of the day. We have about 10 minutes to visit this. And you guys, you're single. You are single, Craig.
I'm single, yeah.
And Janair isn't married, but
I'm in bliss right now, though.
yeah, she's in a relationship that this week has been really, really good. It's been fantastic. Yeah. I don't know, and I don't know what the hell I'm doing. One minute I'm single, the next minute I'm not. Every ex-boyfriend in my life keeps calling me and showing up at my door, and and then they live in another country. So that's kind of a problem.
Good times.
Sometimes it's nice to have a long distance relationship.
Yeah, definitely.
Seriously, because it sometimes makes it easier. I'm going to try to turn my mic down just because I sound really loud, and we're having some. See, I'll try and thank you. But yeah, so in having a long distance relationship, you're forced to use technology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And actually, this is how our relationship progressed because, even if we met years ago and then we were able to stay friends through technology and then we reconnected in the real world again. But a lot of people are connecting. So the positives, right? Some positives. What do you think some of the positives are?
Well, with the FaceTime, you actually get a visual at the same time.
Or Skype.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what we use.
And you get a feel for their mannerism through that.
Right.
And you can see if they're yelling at their kids.
Yes. All the things you don't.
What is their hygiene?
How messy the apartment is.
I check their fingernails always. Sorry, Roan, but
Roan,
are your fingernails clean? Because I know you're listening. I always check his fingernails. Because if they're dirty, that's a problem.
Well, that means he's a man, though. Maybe he's in the yard. He's like fixing something.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. But I'm saying if he's not in the yard, and
I hope you're not rolling out of bed with those dirty fingernails.
Or trying to,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying.
No.
Don't put those
idea.
fingers anywhere if they're not perfectly clean. That's all I'm saying. Okay, now we're going down that road. Well, we are. We're talking about sex.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Don't have dirty fingernails, right, Janair?
Just be very aware of your personal hygiene, please. That's all. That's all I'm
That
gonna
goes
say.
both ways, right?
All the way around both ways,
You tell us,
definitely.
of course.
All the way.
Course.
Yeah.
Listen, men notice these things. They look at women's nails and their feet, and
I'm not
They're just less
I
likely
don't-
to complain. I
okay.
think.
What do they look at?
You know what? Like sometimes,
Teeth? What?
actually, you know what? Women sometimes they're the sexiest when they're less kind of done up.
Yeah. That's what I keep hearing. I keep hearing that from everybody.
Yeah, like put your sweatpants on
Yeah.
as long as they're snug.
Ladies, take note. That's coming from a very handsome gentleman
No.
that owns Altitude. So here's your clue.
Go get your coffee.
Show up at
Everyone-
Altitude.
It's a tight sweatpants
With
day.
some tight sweats and no makeup on. You got yourself a new husband. If it were only that easy, right? Anyway, so some of the negatives, we had some headlines making news with sexting. They're calling it sexting, sex texting. And I have a young tween, and she was telling me that her friends are sending naked photos out. My daughter, thankfully, does not do that. She's got some sensibility about it. Maybe I scared her, but the reality of it is now it is a felony. It's a problem. If you're sending out naked photos of anyone less than 18,
Yeah, well, as it should
child
be. Right?
pornography.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you're taking that photo and spreading it to anybody, even if you're a kid, you're going to have a problem.
I think people especially kids, they don't understand that that's there forever.
Mm-hmm.
Like if that can be taken and put online forever. I mean, you're sewing up your future there a little bit.
Yeah.
But did you notice that we're all touching our keypads way more than we're touching ourselves and others? Have you noticed that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Craig won't. Okay, Craig, get out.
Never mind.
Janair, he doesn't think like me. Although he is me as a boy form, but he doesn't think like me.
They're bringing an end to humanity. Like all the things that make us humans and make us one. As a just that whole we all pull
It's an
from one
extension
another.
of you
So
then.
yeah, exactly.
Well, it's now
You
an
know,
extension
it's-
of our arm. I'm sorry, Craig didn't mean
it's
to
actually-
interrupt you on my show, but go ahead.
Oh boy. It's actually a thing, I guess. I haven't experienced this. Is sometimes if you're on a date, the girl will go to the bathroom, take a very intimate selfie, and send it back to the table
What?
to the guy who's sitting there.
Is this a new relationship or something that they're already
No, this is like Tinder dates.
like brand new?
Yeah.
Wow, so she's a slut.
Just who?
Oh my God, you're
No, it
singing
hasn't.
Oh my god.
No, I'm just kidding. But apparently that happens. I mean, what's the next line after she comes back from the bathroom? Like, hey, nice one.
The next
I mean, I
line,
don't know.
okay, well, okay, you're leading into something very good here, Craig. This is the point. This is what I found as a single woman now. After 15 years of not being single, this is what I'm finding. I am finding that everybody now is jumping into the bed, and they're like, I'm getting shots of a man's anatomy on my cell phone before I've even discussed sex or even met him. I'm dead serious, and I oh yeah, and I'm thinking to myself, what part of hello did it say, send me pornography, send me your body parts
delete.
naked?
Are those things pretty? I mean, what's the point of sending those?
Well, you're not
Of
a
course
woman.
they're beautiful,
They're beautiful.
but the point is that's just rude. I mean,
Well, we
I
know
don't
now.
know.
We've
Depends.
established Craig's not a
Depends.
gay male.
No.
Yes, Craig, they are beautiful. If you're a straight female. Yes, they are. They are beautiful.
For the
but
record, I have never sent anything like that.
let me say that. Let me
good.
say this to you. For me, I don't want to get a naked shot of any. I don't even care if we're in a relationship. I want to see it in the real world. With me. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see the photographs. That's me. But what I'm finding and what I've read is statistically now, we have become a loose, quote unquote, society where that type of stuff going on is eliciting us to have freer sex. I mean, there's no waiting and mating and getting to know each other or courting somebody. It's almost like it's expected. And then nowadays, if the woman doesn't do that, the man can easily move on to someone else that does right around the corner.
Do you think it's freer than the 70s, though?
It's a different atmosphere because the 70s was the real world. So if you're partying and you're experimenting sexually in your own neighborhood, here there's too many options because now everything's just a point and click away. It isn't the same. It's a little bit broader now.
But I don't know. I mean,
I think there was probably a lot more actually there, like with different partners, because now we have ways of staying in contact where there you meet somebody at a party, you hook up, and now you never see them again. You don't even know you didn't even know their name. And
that's a good point.
You got a longer list.
Well, now you can check your man real quick, and he can check your man.
No, I have not checked my man in a long time.
Well, if you could though, if you wanted to, but you could if you wanted to.
Yeah, it's not really my thing, but that's fine. But is it that easy? Like on Tinder, can you just like call someone or text someone, they show up?
Well, do you want to
naked?
try it? Go ahead. We'll go out tomorrow, and we'll try and see if it works.
Try it now. See if they'll show up here.
Yeah, exactly. I don't even know what Tinder is, by the way. That's how lame I am.
Yeah, me neither.
What the heck is Tinder?
I had some kids coming into my salon telling me about, these are kids, and it's so sad, but they have this app, and it's down to F, beep, beep, beep. And basically you go on this app, and you just like find people in your area that just want to meet up, just want to do that, and then that's it.
They have a gay site that does that, and now they have a straight site, and it's probably one of the ones that you're talking about, where it tells you where people are that are just looking to hook up. Yeah. Now I have one thing to ask. Venereal disease, anybody? I mean, if you're just giving it up like that easily, do you not worry about that? And by the way, we have Peter here. He's joining us online. Peter, do you want to join us on our sexting talk real quick, or would you rather just stay up?
I'm listening.
You're listening.
Hi, Peter.
Hey, how you doing, guys? You're cool?
Hey, yeah. Hey, thanks for joining us today. We're going to get into your music and all of that in our last half hour. We're going to devote some great time to you and your album. And
That's
Craig,
cool. No, I'm here.
And Craig and I are so impressed with your music. We were just talking about it. Craig is an amazing singer-songwriter himself, and he was just saying, how good you are. Okay, so what we're talking about now, Peter, you're out there in London, and I have to assume that it's just as crazy out there. Peter's in a relationship, so he's not out there in the single world doing this, but you are so glad, I think, that you're connected with somebody, Peter, because it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think it's most probably always been pretty crazy. I just think that what for like a certain age group seems to be kind of new, something that's been around for the last 5-10 years, maybe even less. For younger people, like who are on the dating scene, even younger, it's their norm. So, like, when kids grow up today and they're growing into young adults and then adults, they don't know anything different. That's what they know. That's their reality.
Right.
That's what they've grown up with. Yeah.
But
I didn't get a mobile phone until I was 22.
But it is moving things along really quickly, though, for the kids. Like my daughter is now just entering high school for the first time this year.
Absolutely. No, I'm not talking about wrongs or rights or what's going on. It's
just saying that's normal.
It's a different reality.
Yeah, it is.
But what to us seems, oh my God, like how people meeting like this for a different generation.
Do you think it's good, though?
That's their norm.
Do you guys
it's about addressing how that's done, I think.
Well, good or bad, I don't think there's any going back. So really, it's sort of developing a solution moving forward. It's not we're going to go back to.
So how do you develop these warm and loving, real relationships with good integrity and morals, and where you get to know somebody?
It's about because you can blame everyone. You can always blame something or someone. Someone can be a victim, someone can be a perpetrator. But if you step aside from that, and we encourage and harvest the correct attitudes in children from a very young age, so that they have plenty of self-worth and their own kind of, I don't want to say a moral compass. So it's not coming from any prescribed kind of ideology or religious background or anything like that. Just a genuine humanity and self-worth for themselves and their own values and their bodies,
Yeah, I think
then
that's...
as they get older, as
Yeah.
they make decisions about, you talk to a young person, even though whether they can really make informed decisions, they believe they can make decisions. And if they have the right amount of self-worth, then I believe that will impact everything else that they do. I think what's happened is that parents do the best they can, but because of the world that we live in and technology is moving so fast, and TV programs, peer pressure, MTV videos, everything I've just said and a million other things.
Well, Peter,
it's going too fast,
and on that note,
self-worth isn't being generated, I don't think.
And on that note, Peter, I have a young tween, and the one thing that has shocked me is that, like in junior high, girls knew about oral sex. They knew about things that I never would have even known, and they are also doing that.
Yeah.
And they...
I mean, we knew.
Yeah.
We just didn't do.
No, we didn't do.
Yeah.
We didn't really know. And so it's frightening. And I think, obviously it has impacted us, and it impacts our relationships. We're at a table, we're having dinner, and our partner is sitting there on their phone, click, 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 checking their email, checking their social media, whatever. When you hear that music, we're actually going to go into a bit of a break, Peter. Don't hang up, because we want to stay tuned with you, and we're going to get into your music and a little bit more on this subject.
Can you hear me okay, by the way? Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
My connection was a bit weird before.
Can you hear us?
I can hear you. You're quite faint and distant, but I can hear you.
Okay, good. Just enjoy the music for a minute, audience, and we will be back in 2 minutes. You are listening to the Venus Vault Show. We have a special music guest in studio, Peter Conway, and we're going to discuss a little bit more about relationships and the new technology. And I want you to stay tuned and listen to this wonderful English gentleman and his music when we get back. So don't go anywhere except for right here in the vault on Radio Phoenix. Hey there, we're back, and that beautiful sound in the background, that is our lovely music guest who's visiting us today from London, England. Shout out. Hey, Peter. Shout out to Peter Conway. Peter, on the break we were talking about just a couple more things we want to cover, because we've got a good 25 minutes that we can spend with you, but maybe 5 more minutes on this. Janair was talking about, so just really quickly, some statistics. Texting and teen driving, like under the age of 25, it's the highest death rate here in America, texting and driving. It's higher than drunk driving. And that's a scary and huge statistic. I was driving to Santa Barbara. A car next to me was on the text phone, and she slammed right into my car on the freeway, sideswiped me out of nowhere. And I mean, it's just like I was lucky that we didn't get hurt.
It's not even illegal in Arizona yet, is it?
It's illegal to text. It's not illegal to be on the phone. Where in California, you can't be on your phone at all.
Are you sure it's illegal to text here now?
Yeah, that's what I was told.
Yeah,
I don't think it is. I don't even think it is.
Oh, really?
It should be. It's crazy.
Well, and this is a very conservative state. I'm surprised that it's not.
Yeah.
Peter, is it illegal to text out there and drive? Or be on the
say that
phone?
again?
Is it illegal out there in London to text and drive?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. I mean, personally, I don't drive. I know that sounds crazy to an American because everyone drives, but I don't have a license. I live in central London. I go everywhere, train and bus, but it is. I believe it is. I believe it's illegal to be on your phone while you're driving. It's definitely you can be pulled over for it, I believe. You can be on hands-free, but that's you can't.
Yeah,
be
you can
while
do
you're
that.
driving.
Yeah. Well, you had mentioned to me. I just want you to mention something really quick for the guys in studio here and this beautiful, lovely lady that I'm looking at. You had mentioned a documentary film that you had told me about, and I just want to tell our listeners about it. Can you tell me what that is and what it is? It's about the perils, really, of what's really going on with those cell phones. Mm-hmm. One thing that scares me is my child is developing, and she's got that cell phone right here.
Yeah.
I fear seriously, and I keep telling her, is that's going to penetrate into your body, and it's radiation, and it's,
The thing is, we don't know the effects yet. I mean,
that's
we could
right,
get
but we're going to find out 20
Yeah.
years from now.
Yeah.
Our kids
Could
are
be
going to
an
find
epidemic.
out. So, Peter,
Yeah.
just really quickly, I don't want to spend too much time, but what is the title of that documentary if anybody wants to check into it?
The documentary is called, sorry, I'm just struggling with my phone here. The documentary is called Resonance Beings of Frequency.
Resonance Beings of Frequency. So check that
That's
out.
right. It's an independent documentary. It's a low-budget documentary, so you have to watch it with that in mind. It's not a huge-budget film, but it's really touched on a lot of issues. It should be getting a lot more viewing than what it's. I mean, it is getting out there, but more people need to see it because it's quite fascinating, the areas it covers. It really, really is. And once you see it, I mean, I've watched it a number of times now, and once you see it, it makes you look at the whole mobile phone and Wi-Fi technology in a completely different way.
And then one more thing, Peter, just before we end on this subject, I wanted to hit upon. Janair, I'm looking at you. We have been single women lately. Craig, you're single. We're going to have to change that. I'm going to have to do like a newlywed game with Craig on. He's like one of the most handsome men I've ever seen in my life. No. When I first saw him, my dog wrapped himself around him. I was like, oh, thank you, God, that my eyes can like look at something so beautiful here.
No,
thank your parents for that. Really, thank you, Craig's parents.
I'll call my dad
because it really makes my eyes very happy to be friends with him. Thank you so much. I love being around beauty of any kind. It's lovely. Yeah. So Janair, one thing about the texting is that it feels like in dating, what happened to the phone call? What happened to the phone call? Is it now obsolete?
Well, that's but the one thing about text, if you text someone, they can answer when they're not busy.
They answer what they want to answer.
Yeah.
That's what they do. If you sent a message that was 3 part, they pick one part of that message to answer. Where if you're on the phone, you're hearing through all of that, and you're getting the real answers that you want to hear.
They do selective text.
Hello.
Hello.
And so
should I be calling?
Yeah, I think so. If you're listen, I'm going to give you some pointers. If you're interested in a woman for real and you really like her and you want to kind of connect for real.
Yeah.
I mean, you can always text throughout the day, hey, how you doing? Just a quick little check-in because that lets us know you're interested. But if you want to ask her out and you want to say, hey, you want to go have some dinner or whatever, I think the best thing is to connect via the phone. Hey, I just wanted to touch base, see how you're doing. You want to have dinner tomorrow night.
Exactly.
Because a text is...
I got some work to do.
A text, and you need to clean your apartment, clean your nails. Make sure you call, don't text.
Don't respond to my phone call with a text. Don't do that unless you're seriously in the middle of something and not 9 hours later.
Right.
So instead of texting,
but I'm learning a lot here, actually. Well, Maybe I'll actually meet someone.
Yeah, I mean, you really I don't know why you're not. I mean, people must be deaf, dumb, and blind.
I do image consulting. Come see me. Come on.
No, we just need to get him the right person. He's a Virgo, which means in real world terms, he is going to be incredibly particular. He's going to check him out.
I'm pretty particular.
Like internal, external, family, everything's got to be right because I don't think they take dating and mating. The one in my life is a Virgo.
Right.
8 years. You know what I'm saying? They have to make sure that you have... what they need because they don't want to leave you necessarily. They're good people. Virgos are good because they're loyal. They're really loyal.
The thing about me is I'm so busy, and then I'll have a long day at the shop or whatever, and then I'm trying to write music, so I'll go home and write till midnight. Imagine that. Like, you haven't been here all day, and then you come home and you go in your room and write for 3 hours. Like,
well, what you should do, I think,
the first 2 minutes of impact after seeing someone after being gone are the most important moments. Like, if you have been gone all day, that first 2 moments that you come into contact with that person, 2 minutes, focus on them. They remember that for hours.
Yeah, but Peter's on the line with us, and Peter's in a beautiful relationship with someone for 10 years.
Wow.
So Craig, if he can do it, and he's absolutely gorgeous to look at,
and a rock star,
Peter, you got it all, and a beautiful girlfriend. What's the trick? How do you balance? We have to help our friend Craig out. How do we balance having your career and then having a relationship? It's not the easiest thing in the world. I had a hard time doing it.
I'm not sure I want a relationship with that.
Okay, well, never mind.
If you love someone, you love someone.
Yeah, you just make it work.
It's not rocket science. It's just you invest your life into someone.
Do you guys have anything to add on this topic before we move just straight into the music with Peter? Do you have anything you want to add about sexting and technology and how does it affect us and how does it hurt us or help us? Do you have anything you want to add?
Just make decisions what you're looking for. If you're looking for just, here and there whenever it works, okay, keep texting. If you're looking for something that's solid, like you said, you don't want a relationship, but you do want something that has that realness, a place you can call home, my house, then, make the extra efforts to
let the
get
woman
to know that person.
Yeah.
So that as much as she's attracted to you, you also are attracted to her. She'll do those little extras also.
Yeah, because I think a woman does treat you the way that you treat her. It's a reflection, and
better than you treat her.
Yeah, better.
But you do know what happens when you don't treat her right. You do know what happens.
Hell
You know,
hath no
thin line
fury,
between love and hate.
I'm talking about all hell breaks loose.
Duck.
You know that. Your best bet is
Down.
to treat your woman like a goddess. That's your best bet. Now, and on that note, we're going to talk to a rock god, in my opinion. So, Peter, I've got something to say to you. You listening?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
You ready for what I'm going
Yeah.
to say? Okay. Now, I know you've heard this. I did read that you have been compared. Let me read a quote. This is from Music Week, if you don't mind. It said, your songs thread a line between Springsteen and Waits, and that's a huge compliment right there, as well as being seen as one to watch by Maverick Magazine in this May's edition, who likened your new album to After the Gold Rush. By the way, one of my favorite albums and a great artist, Ray LaMontagne, Ray LaMontagne, right?
After the Gold Rush was Neil Young, yeah.
Yes, but also this artist, Ray LaMontagne, and he is such, these are all phenomenal comparisons, but to me, you have the feel and the flavor and the passion of a young Joe Cocker out here in America. You know what I mean? And, I know you're your own individual and you have your own sound, but when people in the know are comparing you to these iconic, incredible singers and songwriters, how does that make you feel? Do you like that? Do you mind being compared to these incredible artists? How does that make you feel?
If someone compares you to legends, either past or present, all of the people you just mentioned are a phenomenal special artists. So if someone compares me or puts me in the same category as those artists, it's very, it's great. But at the same time, you have to be careful not to allow it to blow smoke up your ass, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm, right.
Don't get that in the wrong way. Like if someone feels that way, it's a privilege. They're very, very special artists to be even mentioned in the same breath with, but I don't ever let it go to my head or anything like that. I do what I do. Some people love it. It's not some people's cup of tea, but you have to stay focused on why you're doing what you're doing, which is the love of music and communicating that art to yourself and to other people.
Peter, how did you start? I've been kind of a fan of yours for a few years now. I was introduced to you from my good friend in London, and have actually really been listening to your music for quite some time. And how is it that you actually got started in choosing this path for you? I mean, has this been something you've always loved since you were a child?
I've always loved music from a very young age. Like 3 years old, I remember music being played around the house all the time, like Beatles, classical music, Motown, soul. It was all Simon & Garfunkel. It was always around the house.
So was the American music, rock, folk, was that some of your greatest influences growing up?
Absolutely, all kinds of music.
You have a very American,
It's got
old
elements,
town, really cool, earthy, rooty feel. Not to say that. I mean, let me just tell you, some of my favorite musicians and favorite music in the world is coming right from your area, from the UK. I have to be honest, my whole life, right? So no, but you do have a very earthy, wonderful, American feel, that takes us back. It makes us feel reminiscent, I think, of a better time, musically. And I mean, that's cool to be able to do that. You have a new album, a new release. I don't know if we call them albums now. What do we call them? Releases, albums?
Yeah, it's an album. No, it's definitely an album. It's a concept album. I made it as an album.
It's a concept album. The concept, when I'm listening to your album, I'm hearing a lot of love in that album. Am I wrong? Was it inspired by love?
You're 100% right. It is a love story. The whole album is a love story.
And it's called Stay.
That's
Stay.
right.
And it is available now on iTunes, correct?
It's on iTunes worldwide, that's right.
So if you had to pick a favorite single from the album, what would be your favorite at this time?
I don't have a favorite.
You have one that you listen to more than not, or do you just...
No, I don't listen to the album very much. Occasionally I'll put it on, or like other friends of mine who have really enjoyed the record, they listen to it. But I haven't got a favorite.
Okay, that's okay.
I'm constantly writing. I've already got another 2 albums I haven't recorded yet. I'm still trying to figure out which are the right songs to put on the next album.
Do you know that every time I ask an artist that, and even when I was a recording artist, I didn't listen to my CD after I produced it because, I had been, recording it for a while. Now we've got your song playing in the background. I'm going to go out to a break with this, and then we're going to finish off the rest of the hour with you, Peter. So stay tuned and don't go anywhere, Peter. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with you.
Cool.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Of course.
Has become a part of me. Genevieve, these empty streets are paved with memories. I walked alone until you came to me. Genevieve, you turn on a light inside of me. Set me free.
Well, all I know is I'm wanting to be Genevieve right now. And everyone in the
Almost
studio.
Me too. It's
You made our Craig want to be Genevieve. Hey, Peter, listen now. Everybody in the studio loves this song. We're just talking about it. The other song that I like is the first one on Stay.
Found My Faith in You.
Yeah, Found My Faith. Oh, I love that one. Wonderful. Craig has a question for you. Craig's a singer-songwriter, and he's got a question for you, Peter.
Hey, Craig.
Hey, Peter. I love your stuff. I really think it's great.
Thank you very much, brother.
Yeah. When you're writing, are you writing with, because the American music scene is definitely release heavy. Basically, you need your hit, right? Do you ever write I'm going to put my hook at 30 seconds. I'm going to follow follow. Never do that.
You're not trying to write a hit song. You're just writing from the heart.
No. I go. I don't have one method of writing a song. I don't believe there is one method. You can say there are formulas, or people say there are formulas you can fall into, but there are different paradigms in writing, and I think that I use a vast array of different methods to write a song. But I'd say in the past there are times when I've produced a song or co-produced a song with a producer, and we've produced it in a way to make it sound more radio friendly or something like that.
Yeah,
right.
But those times have passed. I've grown from those times, and they were the experience I had at the time. Right now, when I did Stay, and now when I make records or make recordings or write songs, I don't come from that place ever.
Right.
I've never come from that place, even in the past. It's just when I've been laying it down, I may have looked at it
I think that's the mark of an artist, really, and then if it crosses over, it does.
Well, sometimes I think you get lucky, or you get a good, with these big hits, they get in America, they get hooked up with these amazing producers that they put their finger on something, and it's gold. It's gold, and that's okay. That's okay. You connect with those people. You're a great talent. They hear a song that they like, and then they kind of spin it that to where they know the formula. They know what gets radio airplay. Now you went to Nashville. You came to us in America. I wish I had known. I would have come out to see you. But you came to Nashville to write this album, and you were inspired.
Right.
You were inspired by then that Nashville has a really cool feel to it, and it's unique. It's a unique American city. What did you get from Nashville?
It was a vision I had before I even went. Something in my head was just like, you've got to go to Nashville. You've got to go to Nashville. So I went out, and everything I'd done up until that point was predominantly, I'd say, 99% just completely autobiographical and written solely by myself. Maybe a few co-writes, but mainly by myself. And I just wanted to go on a journey with other songwriters and just see what happens. I wasn't actually going out there to make an album. I was just going out there to write. And I did that, and magic happened. I mean, there are a lot of visions. I see visually music. So I like, and I'm in the process of writing 3 scripts at the moment. I've never done it before, but I get like images that go with songs. So what I'm starting to do now is write those images down, and they're starting to create like a tapestry of like a scenes in a movie. And if I put them all together, they end up becoming like a film. So I use the visions and emotions to kind of weave the songs to like how would the song be narrating the image I'm seeing in my mind.
Cool.
When I was in Nashville, a lot of those visions and images took place, which ended up becoming the album Stay. I mean, eight of the 12 songs on the album were written in Nashville.
Wow. Do you do lyrics first? Is that your type of thing, or do you kind of have a melody that you match your lyrics to?
Either or. There's no one way.
Whatever helps.
You know.
Hey,
there's no one way.
Do you ever write with somebody else? Actually, write the finished product with somebody else, or is it all you?
Is that question to me?
Yes.
No, I write with other people all the time.
Okay. Because
I write on my own. Like, the album's got lots of tracks I write on my own, and tracks I write with other people. I mean, they're both very extraordinary, miraculous experiences that shouldn't be taken lightly. We pass things aside in life too easily. Two souls. It's two beings coming together to create, to channel, and to be witness to something quite extraordinary that takes place, which is the birth of something that didn't exist before they did it.
Yeah.
Now, I believe in spiritual realms and things like that. So a lot of the times I think that when you're really in the pocket of writing, either on your own or with other people, what happens is that past lives and past entities that were writers and songwriters and musicians, and they could be from all over the world, from different time zones in history, they find you to be like a vessel to be able to write through and join with. So I believe that all writers, known and unknown, signed and unsigned, when they're truly in the pocket of writing, they're bringing forth through world history some kind of frequency and mixing it with themselves to create, new flavors. They might sound similar to some things from the past. That's okay. It's cool. It's about growing this thread of music. You can listen to a Beatles song and then put on a folk song from Russia, or put on a tribal song from Africa that's been passed down through generations, that's 200 years old plus. Mm-hmm. And you'll hear melody structures in those old folk tunes, which are the same as the Beatles songs, or the same as a Motown song. Not exactly the same, but very similar. So I think that there's a humanity about writing and songs, and it's definitely not something to be put aside. It's a very special thing, and whenever it happens, I really think it's quite a miraculous thing, really. It's to be valued, definitely.
I'm in agreement. I mean, as a singer-songwriter most of my life, I love writing with somebody if the vibe is right. Sometimes you get in and you're with them and it's not the right feel, but then when the magic happens, that's exactly what you can call it, as magic. And for me, I always prefer to write with someone that I care about, or I'm even attracted to at times, or close to, so that we can vibe off of each other, be in that room and vibe. So on this album Stay, I have a few favorites. I've been listening to the whole thing, and I have to say, Peter, that for me, musically, I'm a fan of yours. That's why I wanted to bring you in. I would love to get you, some out here more, so that the American audience can listen to you. So
I'd love to come out.
What are some of your music? Well, you know what? If you ever want to come out, you need to look Craig and I up. Maybe we can help you.
Yeah.
We would love to have you play at
That'd
his
be
place.
A real privilege and honor.
Well, he's got a beautiful place that you could play, a really kind of cool, casual atmosphere.
Small venue with good sound. I mean, you'd probably be perfect there, but
yeah. And
great.
And then the other thing is, what are your musical goals? Where do you see yourself, and what do you want from this release, but then others in the future? What are some of your goals?
Really to just be true to myself and touch as many people as possible in the most natural way, without diluting or diverting away from what is true in me to come out, really. I'm not I've got a song that's been in a couple of movies, been in a few movies in the past, called I'm Not a Yes Man. So I suppose, without sounding cliched, I've had lots of opportunities put in front of me in the last sort of 5 or 6 years from major record labels, from big producers, from various people in the industry, and I've kind of walked away from them or said I'll do it, but only if TV, like The Voice people. They've called me like the last 2 years that are running to ask me to be on The Voice, but I'm not. There's no offense to anyone that's on that show. That's good luck to them if that's what they want to do. But I don't want to dilute away from what the truth is for me.
Right.
So
right.
I would say my goals are to just be true to myself and to give that to other people.
So if the American audience, which we're going to try to do our part, Craig and I and the Venus Vault Show and Radio Phoenix, we're going to do our part to get you out here more in America. And so if the American listeners want to get a hold of your music, please give us a website and information where they can contact you, because our show is already coming to an end, honey. It's already coming to an end.
Time flies. Huh?
It was too fast. So give us a plug for.
Sure. So if you want to find out a little bit more about myself, and you can buy my limited edition CD album, it's www.peterconway.net. You can also buy my back catalogue from there as well on limited edition CD, and you can download my album from iTunes. Just put in Peter Conway and stay.
Okay. Now, Peter, I think you could be the next big thing, and I'm going to do whatever I can to help support you here in America, and I do consider you a friend as well as me being a fan of yours. So I want you to stay in touch with us, okay? I'd like to have you back in. Anytime you get any new stuff out, I'd like to have you back in, but if you wouldn't mind coming back in maybe in September and, maybe playing, maybe we could do something where we can get you to perform live, but we do it, remotely somehow. We'll figure that out, okay?
Real pleasure,
yeah.
Thank you very much for having me.
And is there anything else you want to share with our audience before you go? Anything else you want to add? Other than how much you love America and you love the Venus Vault Show?
I'm just going to say, love each other more. If you love each other already, then love each other more.
I think kindness is the only way to go in this world. That's what we have to do. Peter, it was a total pleasure and an honor to have you with us. Thank you so much. And we're going to end with playing some more of your music. For the listening audience, I want to thank you for joining us and listening to this really talented Englishman and artist, singer-songwriter. It's just been such a joy to have him on. If you have more questions or if you want to get a hold of his music, it's Peter Conway, CONWAY.net. If you want information on our show, we have a lot of things happening. Lots of cool things. I have a new blog site coming out, and I was told to do that because I have a book coming out, you guys. I have a book coming out about sex and relationships. It'll be out next month. It's called Can I Have My Panties Back, Please? And I will be promoting it. But we also have some new sponsors for the Venus Vault Show, and we're going to be sharing those with you next week. Next week, though, I want you to prepare. I've got a ladies coming in the house. It's a ladies night in the morning, per se. And it's just going to be tabletop discussion about everything that we go through, an open and honest communication over some coffee. So don't miss out. Join us for that. And you can be calling in during that hour. So join us next Sunday morning at 11, every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. And don't forget to donate. This is a wonderful station here I'm on. It's called Radio Phoenix, radiophoenix.org. You can log in or call and give your donation or your time. This is how we survive and continue to put these wonderful shows on air for you. Thank you for listening to the Venus Vault Show. You stay tuned for the Althea Long Show, and we will see you next week.
Someone for us all, no matter where you are. Don't say no, 'cause I need you now more than ever. So stay, baby, please don't you go away. Can we meet before it's finally too late? Don't let what we could be together fade.